What was your experience like at the school?
It was a wonderful memory being in the old St. Peter and Paul School. At that time, there were about 800 children in the old school. You've never seen that one. And we had all Ursuline nuns for teachers. And they were very strict, but very smart, and they taught us a lot.
Was there anything you did not like about your school?
I can say I didn't like the bathrooms. They were down in that old basement, and you've never seen this old school, so. And they were not very what you'd call updated. That's the only thing. I loved going to school, and I loved being there. I loved the teachers, and it was, for me, it was a good experience. You want to answer that for yourself?
It was great. I do remember the old bathrooms down in the basement. Wasn't any air conditioning there, but we still got along fine. And yes, like my wife said, like Peg said, the teachers were wonderful, the nuns, so.
Very knowledgeable.
Very good time, very knowledgeable.
What was student life like?
We used to have a lot of fun at recess. We played double dutch with the jump rope and used chalk on the playground to play hipscotch and hopscotch or whatever it was. And,
Used to have marble tournaments. Can you believe that?
yeah, right out on the playground.
Right out on the front. Every year we'd have a marble tournament, which was great. All the different classes got to attend and play too. So.
Have you ever played marbles? Yeah.
And I believe at that time we even started. Do we have the gym yet, or not yet? So we were playing basketball at other schools.
Out in the yard.
Out in the yard.
How was the bond between you and the faculty at the school?
Great. I was. You got in a few spouts with.
Every now and again you get in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck?
A little mischief
You
here and
guys
there
know.
out on the playground.
Yeah. Not too much because the
Oh, they
nuns
were
are a little
watching.
tough.
They watch. I can tell you one experience that was fun. There were we were in different classes, and there were two boys that they just couldn't get along with each other, and they were fighting out on the playground all the time, every chance they got. So, Sister Regis, I believe it was, called him in, and she said, okay. She said, tomorrow we're gonna have a boxing match, a real boxing match. I don't know where she got the boxing gloves, but they had a boxing match out on the playground, and they had to keep going even when they wanted to stop. She made them keep going. And you know what? They didn't fight on the playground anymore after that was her idea, and she loved the boy students, and she was always good to them, but she always had a way to get to them when they were misbehaving.
Do you remember who won that boxing match?
I don't know if anybody won it because they
Might
had
have
to
been a
keep,
draw.
they had to box until she said they could quit.
What was your class size?
When I graduated from the 8th grade, it was 32 kids. And what was yours?
It was always about the same. It was about 32, 28 in that area.
There were, at one point, there were
400.
in the old school. The new school, there were 800.
Yeah, the new school.
The school you're in, when they built that, there were 800 kids from 1 to 8. all together.
Yeah.
How often did you go to church?
Every morning. We got to go to Mass every day of the week. And Sister Gregory was a pianist, and she had a beautiful singing voice. That was a sixth grade teacher. And at that time, there was an 8 o'clock Mass every Saturday as well, that she played the organ and we sang to it. And she was having a hard time getting the kids to come up to the school because some of the parents, didn't want to. Well, you had to either walk or catch a bus mostly if you lived close enough. But I lived almost to Caseyville, and I had to take a bus, walk up to the bus line to get to come on Saturdays, and every day of the week. And I asked my mother. She asked me if I could be there. I asked my mother if I could have a nickel to ride the bus up and a nickel to ride back. And when she wanted to know what it was for, I told her. She said, we'll scrape up 1 or 2 we needed. And so I got to go to Mass on Saturday too, before that they allowed that to count as Sunday Mass. And sometimes there were only Sister Gregory and I there to sing, and I don't know how good that sounded, but her voice would drown mine out.
Was church mandatory? Like every day?
Yes. Unless you were sick, you couldn't make it, or the parents couldn't get you there or something. Sure.
And I believe. I'm sorry. And I also believe that in the mornings, whoever wanted to go to communion, because back then you had to fast longer, and you're going to school every day. So if you were going to Mass and you're going to communion, you were allowed in the morning after Mass, when we were all back in the classroom, that you could either have a snack, your breakfast after that in the classroom, or else across the street were 2 baker shops, and you could go across the street and buy a couple donuts, come back and...
It was Bruno's Bakery and Tricano Bakery. Either place you could go and get a donut, couldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was the dress code any different between like the boys and the girls than us now?
There's no uniforms back then, no. There was no dress code. But everybody was very modest. They never wore anything inappropriate, so they didn't have a problem with it.
I have one question that's on the paper. What was your favorite subject, and why? What was your favorite subject?
Probably square dancing. Sister Lucilla taught us all in the 5th grade how to square dance. And she was a very smart teacher, but a very fun teacher. She always had us doing plays. One year I played a nun, and I had to borrow a habit with the whole nun's habit. Remember those? You were too young, I think. And be Sister whoever it was, I don't remember. But we used to have some really, really good drama classes. But now, I shouldn't have said that was my favorite, but it was one of the fun things that we did. And my favorite class was, I loved spelling and English.
Yeah.
I loved it.
What about you?
Well, I don't know if I had a favorite class. Maybe recess.
Yeah.
Was he a mischievous one, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I bet no one was probably your answer too, was recess, right?
Yeah, that's
mine too.
That or gym.
But we had square dancing, and
Wait, this square dancing was an actual subject?
No,
No.
no, it was an extracurricular fun thing that she taught us all to do.
Oh, I thought it was like.
Yeah, we had to give up recess if we wanted to practice our play. But those of us who wanted to be in the play didn't mind it at all because we were loving it. And if you wanted to get in the square dance group, you had to stay after school for an extra hour. And then she taught us, had another lady that used to square dance professionally in Collinsville, that she'd come in and give us some tips on how to do it. It was a fun thing to do. And so were the plays, where I loved the drama, you know, part of it. And they taught us how to sing a lot, and a lot of music. There was a lot of music in our lives in school then.
Who was your favorite teacher?
Mine was Sister Lucilla. She's from Collinsville. She was born in Collinsville to an Italian family. And I'm trying to think what her last name was. It was a real Italian name, though. It was a well-known name in Collinsville at the time.
Mother Regis was my favorite. I had Mother Irene, which I liked, Mother Gregory, Mother Josephine. So I had a few of them, but Mother was my favorite.
Regis?
Mother Regis.
Yeah, she was.
Because she
I
liked
loved
all the
her.
boys.
She did favor the boys.
She taught all the server boys. So if you wanted to be a server, Mother Regis would teach you.
Yeah, she was good. Well, they were all really good teachers, no
Yes.
question about
Loved them all.
it. Even Sister Josephine.
Well, Sister Josephine was a little bit tough. She didn't
She was
quite see
tough.
eye to eye, but it was her eye that usually took precedence over my eye.
If you were talking in class
Yeah.
or trying to make, we called them monkey shines at each other during class. I don't know if you know what monkey shines are. They're just misbehaving across the room.
Fire a spitball.
She was good at catching you right away.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, I see. This was the last group that graduated from St. Peter and Paul. Look how many of them there are.
Wow.
That's how big that graduating class
Was this the old church?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Was that at a different location? Or was that
No, that was had to be torn down when they were getting ready to build it. Bob, was the school built before the new church?
Yeah, I believe it was.
I think so, because they had to tear down the old school to make room. And then, I don't remember if the new church was built first or,
I believe it's Rosa there, Monsignor Monsignor Egger.
I don't remember if this is the priest that was in
And those were the
charge.
nuns that were there.
He was here in the 1950s, Monsignor Egger. And these two priests were as well.
Oh.
And these were all our nuns that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were different named. And this is when they first started having lay teachers mixed in with the sisters.
Hmm.
And that was all. And now this is our new church.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the altar that this now is the risen Christ here.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Christ on.
then now it's the,
The crucified,
yeah, the crucified, I'm sorry.
our big cross.
The big cross now is crucified.
In fact, Bob is the one who hung that
Oh my goodness.
new.
Wow.
The body of that came from Italy.
Oh.
The body of the cross.
Wow.
And that was Reverend Father Morris ordered that. He wanted to have the crucified Christ at the altar.
Like
And,
the entire cross, or just like part of it?
well, they had to build the framework.
Yeah, we
Wow.
built the cross and then ordered the body.
Wow.
They built the framework and then had to figure out how it could be hung on that marble wall without damaging it.
Yeah.
It was a project. Look at how crowded
That was a shock, you know, picture taken from up in the.
That's daily
bar.
mass,
Wow.
just the kids.
Wow.
And look at this, First Communion class.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine that.
That's like 60 people right
Well, when you think about how many kids, you know, I think that was 2 grades, wasn't it, that made their First Communion
Might have
ballot?
been second, third.
Well, it would have started at second, yeah.
Yeah, second.
there. Thank you so much.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Nice
Yeah,
to meet you
nice
Too. You're very nice. You're a good compliment to the school.
Yes,
Thank
very
you.
definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah. We thought this was going to be really tough.
Yeah.